The New York Liberty had the best record in the WNBA this season, going 23-11. But their first round opponent in the WNBA playoffs, the Washington Mystics, defeated the Liberty 3 out of 4 times in the regular season. Now counting game 1, you can make it 4. The Washington Mystics come into the world's most famous arena and come away with a dramatic 86-83 double overtime victory over the New York Liberty here from Madison Square Garden in New York City. Now, to call this game a nip and tuck battle would be an understatement. This game had 14 ties and 23 lead changes, and late in the ball game, it was the Liberty in position to win after a breakaway layup by Tina Charles off a pass from Sugar Rogers to give the Liberty a 69-66 lead, and that layup sent this raucous Madison Square Garden crowd into a frenzy. But then the combination of Ivory Latta and Emma Meesseman really stepped up for the Washington Mystics. It was Meesseman who set up Ivory Latta, and she hit a game-tying 3 with just under 28 seconds to go to tie the game at 69 and send the game into overtime. And in the overtime, late in the overtime, the Liberty held a 2-point lead at 76-74. Then Ivory Latta returned the favor. She drove to the basket, then fed a pass to Emma Meesseman, who hit a running layup to tie the game at 76 with 1.6 seconds left in the overtime to send the game into double overtime. And in the double overtime, the Washington Mystics took control and they win the game by a score of 86-83, once again defeating the New York Liberty. They have defeated the New York Liberty 4 out of 5 times this season, and on Sunday they'll head to the Verizon Center looking for their second ever playoff series win, looking to close out the New York Liberty in 2 games. And after the game, I talked with Emma Meesseman. She had 13 points and 10 rebounds in the contest, and I asked her to begin our conversation, has she ever been a part in a game so zany and so dramatic in her basketballing career?
Only once in triple overtime against LA, but this is just so much better because it's in playoffs and a huge crowd, even if when it's not for us, but just still gives you energy. So it was just great to play this game and to come out of it with a win.
Could you allow yourself to, even with the stakes in this game, to have fun, given that you're playing in a playoff game and given the energetic crowd here at Madison Square Garden?
Definitely. I mean, it's something you don't have in Europe. Like I hadn't, but it's great. All these people cheering, watching basketball, WNBA, and I mean, I love it, and I hope to have many more games like that in playoffs.
So your team tied the game in regulation and in overtime as well. We'll start in regulation. You set up Ivory Latta for the 3-pointer. Take us through that play. What was the play call from Coach Tebow?
I mean, we don't really have a play, but we just run it and we know that she can make big shots. So we have that player that doesn't have the stress to take the last shot and knowing that we need it. So, I mean, she did a great job in just making it and get it open. This whole team was just ready for her and to make the pass to her. So that's it. And
then in overtime, she returns the favor to you. You have the running layup with less than 2 seconds to go. Was there a play there?
No, same thing. It just happened. I mean, we have these things that if she drives, that we can step in or do whatever. We just move the way that defense is there. So we find an open spot.
Now, with the Liberty having the best record in the WNBA, you have been able, now in the playoffs included, to beat them 4 out of 5 times this season. What's the secret elixir in beating the Liberty and beating the Liberty as many times as you have?
I think just forgetting the past few games and just treating them as 0-0, knowing that they always can beat us when it's a good game. So if we have a day that we're not shooting very well, and they are, so they can beat us. So I just think that our strong point is we always look to the next game and we forget about the other ones.
Now, Tina Charles, one of the leading candidates for MVP, has 22 points, but had to take 27 shots to get her 22 points. How do you think you and Stephanie and the rest of the ladies inside, how do you think you guys did on Tina Charles, given those numbers, her points, given the number of shots she had to take to get those points?
We know that she's a strong player and she leads the team together with Prince, so that it's a focus in our defense that we had to limit her touches, but I think we did a great job in just standing strong in the paint and making her hesitate. So that's what we needed.
The Mystics are one of the few original franchises in the WNBA, but only one playoff series win in its history. Outside of just wanting to win in the playoffs for yourselves, is that pressure a little bit, knowing that this franchise hasn't been as successful in the playoffs as fans would have wanted to be? Is there pressure in terms of having to have the Mystics win playoff series, not just for yourselves, but for the franchise?
I think we always want to win. Like, we always try hard to win in the playoffs. So if that pressure is different because of the franchise, I don't think so. I mean, not to me. I just want to win always, no matter what the franchise is. So I mean, we just want to do it to give back to our fans and go as far as possible. And we know we can do it. We just have to do it.
What's the mentality now that you go back home knowing that you're one win away from the conference finals?
It's good, but at the same time, we need one more game, but it's not finished yet. I mean, to me, it's 0-0 again, because they're going to come out strong, because if they lose, it's done for them, and they don't want that. So we have to be prepared, rest our bodies, focus on the next game. So.
And you picked up a beauty mark, I guess, just now with the little shiner. How did that occur?
Just in a rebound. I mean, it shows how hard a game can be, and just you got to move on. Yeah.
Emma, thank you so very much for joining us. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
As for the New York Liberty, they still haven't really solved the mystery that is the Washington Mystics in the 2015 WNBA season. MVP candidate Tina Charles, she had 22 points for the New York Liberty, but as I mentioned in the interview, she needed 27 shots to get her 22 points. She was 10 of 27 from the field. Epiphany Prince led the Liberty. She had 26 points in the contest, 11 of 16 from the field. But if you take away Epiphany Prince's shooting numbers, the New York Liberty combined to shoot 35% from the field, 20 of 57. Once again, Washington defeats the New York Liberty 86-83, and the Liberty are on the verge of elimination. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALotofSportsTalk.com. On Sunday, we will have a recap of the Week 2 contest between the Atlanta Falcons and New York Giants. We will be live at MetLife Stadium. The Falcons 1-0 after last Monday night's win over the Philadelphia Eagles. The New York Giants looking to bounce back from their gut-wrenching loss to the Dallas Cowboys in the Lone Star State. So once again, the Washington Mystics, the number 4 seed, defeat the number 1 seed, the New York Liberty, by a score of 86-83 in double overtime. From the floor of the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York City, my name is Adeshina Koike for ALotofSportsTalk.com.